Hey everyone, this is Sage from Sage Knows IT. As you guys may know or have heard, October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And being an IT security professional myself, I thought that I would do my part and sharing some tips and tricks all month long on how to better protect yourself while you're online. But before I would go into the first tip, please be sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. Also visit my blog, www.sageknowsit.com. I feel like I might do a special giveaway this month. Maybe I'll do it in the next video, give you guys some details on that. But in lieu of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which is one of my favorite months, not just because it's Halloween, but I don't know where I was going to go with that. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get into it. So I figured the first week, which will be today, or which will be the first 2 days of October and then the first week of next week, that I focus solely on employee awareness. So this is going to be part of the employee awareness track for this particular talk. So emails is really big because most of us from day to day, this is what we typically this is our main interaction if we're not on the phones, is with emails. So one of the things that I would want to say is that if you're not sure if an email is legitimate or not, one of the things that you should do is just pick up the phone and call your trusted contact to make sure that they indeed sent that mail, especially if it looks suspicious. Now, what do I mean by it looking suspicious? Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an email that I frequently get out of my spam folder, and just kind of show you guys what I see and some of the tips that I look at when I'm determining whether or not an email is real or fake. So here's a look at one of the emails here. So the very first thing that I look at when I'm looking at an email is I check the signature line and see if it's from someone that I normally know. And this one here didn't really actually have a signature line beyond the name of the person itself. And seeing as though that I do a lot of business to business transactions, like a signature line is there. If I don't see a signature line there, or if I see that it's coming from a domain, like a personal domain, my red flag is already going up. So in this case, that was my first indication down here, is that there was no true signature line. The next thing that I always look at is the subject line. Does it make sense if this email is coming to me? So I know that I've never sent this person an email itself, and the fact that they have a RE period, which is usually used when you reply to an email, I know that I've never sent this one here. So right now I already know that it is, probably not the best way. And I also see the inquiry is spelled differently. I don't know if that's an English spelling or not, but that's definitely not the way that I normally would see inquiry. From there, I'm dissecting a little bit more, and seeing what else I can find here that I can kind of pull. So I look at the email address that it actually came from. So sometimes when you get an email address, especially in Outlook, it'll only say the person's name. But if you actually click on, there's like usually a drop down somewhere here, you can actually get a little bit more information from the header, which will actually display the entire email. For the sake of this person's, email address, don't know whether or not it got hijacked or whether or not this is like a fake email or whatnot. I decided just to black it out. But the last domain part is, or not domain, but the last part of the email address, instead of saying .com, which usually indicates more of it being a U.S. company, it came from a .hn, which I'm not familiar with that. I don't think that's Hong Kong. I'm not sure where HN is, but I already know I shouldn't be getting any emails with that kind of extension on there. So right now, red flags galore. So at this particular point, if I see this email, it's already got 3 strikes against it, right? No signature line, funny subject line, and an email address from a different part of the world, presumably. So at this point, I have got 2 options. If I'm in a corporation, I would typically forward this over to to a cybersecurity incident response team so that they can kind of vet the email, and also that you can put parameters in there to see how many of these emails have come into the network, and they can do their due diligence on that end, or you can simply delete it. I would delete it if that's like your last option. If not, I would just hit that forward button to the IT team, or if they've given you a specific designation where you press a button on your Outlook and it automatically sends it, then that's also a good option as well. But as you can see, this has already got the risk characteristics of being something bad. Now, one of the things that you'll typically see in emails, or you'll see an attachment or a link that will redirect you. Make sure that you don't click or download those. If you got those 3 strikes, you feel like it's suspicious, don't do that. In this case, it didn't come with any attachments or links. So how exactly would they steal your information? So typically when you if there's indicators, if you open an email, that it'll automatically send like a response to that person saying, hey, this is a valid email address. And it will usually accompany another email sometime down the road to try to get that information from you, or send you a link or something of that nature. But sometimes people just respond to these emails, and then that ends up putting you in a listing campaign and becoming a target. So again, the best thing to do in these situations is just either hit the forward button to your incident response team if they've instructed you to do so, or just delete these types of emails, and that'll help reduce the impact that you might have in becoming a target. So yeah, that's my first tip for you guys. If you ever have any questions, let me know. If you guys have some great tips as well, maybe something I didn't cover, like a DLP system, which I purposely didn't say DLP system in place, only because I'm gonna reserve that for week 4 when we go into technical aspects, and that'll be more in line for corporations and IT companies itself. So, but this week is just employee awareness. So, but drop a comment in the in this video here, and share some tips and tricks that you have as well. You never know. You might just save your comment, or your experience might actually just help somebody else in that circumstances as well. So thank you so much for joining. Again, like, subscribe to this video. And on a personal note, I know elections are coming up pretty soon, guys. I'm pretty political person. I don't really believe in all that jazz, but go out and vote. Do your civic duty and go out and vote. And I'll leave it at that. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot up until the election, but if you're in America over the age of 18, go out and vote safely, but go out and vote, be heard. Thank you so much. Y'all know the drill. Keep it real.